Alright, so this is floodgate replacements, so to speak, or whatever you want to call it, right? So we know currently Vanity's emptiness and skill drain are limited to 1 currently. So for those who used to play 3 of each of these, main decked or side decked, now they're limited to 1. There are alternatives that's coming out or currently is out, and one good replacement for Vanity's emptiness is in the band played on. Its effect is neither player can special summon monsters with the same level as those they control. Neither player can special summon monsters with the same rank as they control. So this will, hurt certain cards like Tour Guide, because you normal summon Tour Guide, then you try to special level 3. This will prevent that. Summoner Monk is level 4, and you pitch and you summon a level 4. It'll stop that. Stuff like that. If you use, it depends on what you're using, but typically you have something where you summon something, and since you have something, you try to summon something else. Because for Exceed summoning, for example, you need 2 monsters at the same level. Since for synchro summons you really don't, because you can special summon like a Cyber Dragon, summon a 3-star tuner, and you can synchro for 8. Since they're both separate levels, you don't have to worry about the whole you can't special. Plus you're already special before you're normal. So you special then you're normal, so you bypass this effect. Especially if you have effects like that. Like if you have, for example, Thrasher. Right, you have Thrasher, he's level 4, you can special summon when you control no monsters, so you can special summon it. Then you can normal summon, so that's how you could avoid the effect of this and the band plays on from hurting you. Because you special before you're normal. So obviously that's very useful. But as you can see, this can hurt your opponent. It will reduce the chance of them summoning multiple monsters at the same level. So that way you can, control the duel. Because that's basically what emptiness really was about, was controlling the duel, preventing your opponent from, bringing out some powerful cards onto the field to hurt you. So unlike Vanity's emptiness, the band plays on doesn't leave the field. When a card of yours goes to the graveyard, you'll continuously stay there until the card gets MST'd, right? So that's another good aspect of it. Now moving on to skill drain. Of course, you pay 1,000. The effects of all face-up effect monsters on the field are negated, and that's only on the field. Doesn't apply for the graveyard. Now, lose a turn will be a good substitute for that if you need a card that you can pay 3 copies of it, either your main deck or your side deck, based off of your deck design. Activate only if you control no special summon monsters. So you can only activate this if you have stuff on your side field that wasn't special summon. You could also activate this when you have no monsters. So you'll obviously meet the condition of not having a monster special summon. Something you could do is you can have, like, let's say you have Stardust Assault mode in this face down. Use Stardust Assault mode's effect to negate something, and then since he's no longer on the field, then you can activate lose a turn and get this effect off, since now you have nothing on your field that was special summon. You can also use this deck, in decks that do a lot of normal summons. For example, like you play this in Bujins, because you'll summon your model, set some back row, and your turn search pitch with your model's effect, right? And then your opponent's turn, since you have a monster that was normal summon, not special summon, you can activate this, and right there you'll hurt your opponent's monsters. Mainly you'll hurt their special summon monsters, not their normal summon monsters. They'll still get their normal summons off, but that's the good and the bad of the card, right? Because normal summon effects and normal summoning monsters won't be affected. So this won't be good against monarchs, for example, because you know their summonings, which are tribute summons, count as normal summons anyway. So those are not special summons, so you won't be able to negate their effects. But you can negate, obviously the effects of other stuff like Black Rose, Exciton Knight, things of that nature. Ritual monsters, since they get special summon. Fusion monsters, since they get special summon. Synchros, XYZs, anything like that. Somebody calls a haunted a monster, that's a special summon, so this will negate that monster's effect. So you get the idea. And it's good for you with the fact that you can play this and not worry about you normal summoning a monster and then that normal summon monster's effect gets negated. You know what I mean? So that's good in all types of ways. Then it has a secondary effect, which is if an effect monster or monsters is special summon in attack position, change them to defense position. So while this is face up on the field, if your opponent special summons a monster, not only will the monster's effect get negated during that turn that it was special summon, it will also go to defense mode, which is really good. So that way it serves two purposes. Not only can it negate the monster's effect, it can also defend you because they can't attack with that special summon monster. Now you also have to remember the effects are negated during the turn it was special summon, which means if you special summon something that turn, it'll be in defense mode. It won't have its effect. But if it has an effect like let's say summon Zen main, if it has an effect that applies on opponent's turn, right? An effect that applies on your opponent's turn, if it would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you detach material. That's that's good because now during your opponent's turn it has its effect again. So that's something to take into consideration, is that during your turn your special summon monsters won't have their effects, but during your opponent's turn they will, and then the following turn when it's your turn again, they will have their effects. This just slows things down, so that way if your opponent makes a Black Rose, it doesn't get its effect. And that's good because it can only trigger its effect that one time it was summoned anyway. So even if your opponent has another turn, it can't destroy everything on the field. So that's good in gravy. Let's say you summon an Exciton Knight. Alright, during your turn you can't use Exciton Knight's effect because of course his effects will be negated and he's in defense mode. But during your opponent's turn and during his battle phase, if he's to attack and you have less cards than your opponent, then you can activate Exciton Knight's effect and all that good stuff. So obviously you get the idea. This card, has its potentials. I would like to be able to use this in Yang Zings, but there's too much special summoning happening in Yang Zings during your turn, your opponent's turn, that this will actually be bad for you to run it in Yang Zings, but good to play against them, to hurt them. So this is a good out to Yang Zings if you need something to hurt them. But what's good for them to play, because they could play this with virtually no problem, is Discord. So they could play not Discord, and the band plays on. So Yang Zings can play a band played on with no problem, but they can't play lose a turn. But you could play lose a turn and hurt them. So it's hard to play both. You could play one or the other, but if you can manage both, you can manage both. But obviously, it's hard to play one and the other at the same time because of all the different issues that arise. But imagine both of them on the field. Lots of fun, right? So basically that's it. That's just my little Yugi tip. Something to take into consideration, in case you are fans of these two particular cards. As you can see, there's two other cards that you could play with and just have some fun with. And that's the end of the video.